If you're planning on refinishing a window or two in a room of your house this year and you haven't done it before, you're in the right place. In today's video, I'll walk you through the process of installing a new window jamb in my own bedroom. Let's get started. All right, so the next step here is to cut through the caulk around the window. This is important because the caulk helps seal the existing frame to the wall, and by cutting it, we're detaching the frame from the window. I'm using a utility knife to carefully score along the edges, making sure not to damage any of the surrounding drywall. Once the caulk is cut, the frame should come free, and we can move on to the next step in the process. Nasty insulation right now. So this is like an inside layer, and then there's a hollow gap, and then an outside layer of brick. Legitimately, things would freeze to the wall, and you'd have to melt it to get it off when we first bought this house. Yep, that's a true story, and honestly, I've learned so much from buying my first home. It's definitely been a journey, and if you're interested, I'd be happy to make a video and share some tips on what to look for when purchasing a home. Just let me know, and I'll add it to my video ideas list. So now I'm cutting along the line I marked earlier to trim back to the stud. This ensures that I've got a clean edge to work with, and it makes it easier to remove the drywall without damaging anything around it. Now, I'm carefully removing the two sides of the frame. I'm making sure to take my time so I don't damage anything around it. Once these are off, we'll be ready to move on to the next step of the process. This is the part I'm nervous about, Nick. Something's gonna fall on my face, some animal or something. I'm so nervous. Now I'm working on removing the top of the window frame, and honestly, I was a little bit nervous about this part. I kept thinking that there might be a bird or something hiding up there. Thankfully, there was nothing unexpected, but you never know what you might find when you're working on older spaces like this. Right now, I'm finishing up by removing the remaining screws that are holding the window jamb in place. Once these are out, I'm taking the time to clean up the area around the window, making sure that there's no debris left behind. It's important to leave everything nice and tidy, especially since we're prepping for a new window jamb to go in. A clean surface will make the installation process go much smoother. Right now, I'm removing the remaining caulk from around the window. Honestly, this step might not have been necessary given the way I ended up framing the window, but I wanted to be thorough. It's always a good idea to clean up the old caulk, even if it's not absolutely required. Plus, it ensures a cleaner and tighter fit when installing the new window jamb. So, I'm just making sure that everything is nice and clear before moving on to the next step, which helps with the overall quality of the installation. Here, I'm cutting all the pieces for the new window jamb, making sure that each one is measured and sized properly. Once everything is cut, I'll fit them into place and mark the bottom sill. It's important to get this piece right because the bottom sill needs to be perfectly aligned to ensure that the new window jamb sits properly and is securely framed. Moving on, I'm fitting and marking the remaining pieces of the window jamb to make sure that everything lines up correctly. Once I've got those in place, I'll move on to trimming the top and bottom sills. It's all about getting these measurements just right, so everything fits perfectly and looks clean. After that, I'll double check the fit before securing everything in place to ensure a nice, tight finish. Now with my track saw, I'm going to trim the window pieces to size. I'll carefully measure everything to make sure it's precise, and then I'll make the cuts. It's important to get this step right so that all the pieces fit perfectly when we assemble the new jamb. Once everything's cut, I'll check the fit before moving on to the next step. I'm tacking the jamb together right now to check the fit. This step ensures that everything lines up properly before securing it permanently. I'll make sure all the pieces are aligned, and once I'm confident the fit is perfect, I'll move on to the next step and secure everything in place for a solid frame. I'm fitting the jamb to ensure that everything lines up correctly. I'm going to add some screws for extra support to secure the frame properly. I'm adding shims to keep everything square and properly aligned. This helps ensure that the frame stays true and stable during the build. It's an important step to make sure that the structure holds up well and everything fits together perfectly before securing it in place. Right now, I'm securing the frame in place to make sure everything stays stable. Once it's positioned correctly, I'll trim the shims to ensure the precise and snug fit. This step is important for keeping everything aligned and square. By trimming the shims, I can make sure that there are no gaps and that the frame is solid before moving on to the next stage. It's all about making sure the structure is as stable and secure as possible. And now I'm cutting and prefabricating the trim work for the frame. This part of the process is really important because it ensures everything fits together properly before I start assembling. I'm taking precise measurements and making sure every piece is cut to the right size, which is key for achieving a clean and professional finish. Prefabricating the trim also saves time down the line. It allows me to check that all the pieces line up correctly and fit properly before installation. By preparing everything ahead of time, I can avoid any last-minute adjustments, and once it's all ready, I'll be able to install the trim quickly and efficiently. It's all about getting those details just right for a polished final result. Now, I'm fitting the trim and securing it in place. This step is crucial to make sure everything lines up perfectly. I'm carefully adjusting each piece to ensure a precise fit, making sure the edges are straight and aligned with the frame. Once everything is in position, I'll secure it with fasteners to keep it firmly in place. Taking the time to get the trim fitted properly will ensure a clean and professional look. After it's secured, I'll do a final check to make sure everything is aligned just before moving forward. I'm applying caulk to the window trim to seal any gaps and ensure a smooth, finished look. This step helps create a tight seal, preventing drafts or moisture from getting through. It also gives the trim a clean and professional appearance. I'll carefully apply the caulk along the edges and smooth it out, making sure that everything looks neat. Once it's done, it'll not only improve the appearance of the window, but it'll also enhance the durability and efficiency. Don't forget to click the video linked on screen for more woodworking and home improvement content. I'll see you in the next video.